Check 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3. All right, there we go. Okay, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between. Welcome back to Spark 93 Gaming. I'm your host, Spark 93, aka Firehawk 5150, aka Lucas, and we are back in Sea of Thieves, where we were having a lovely discussion about how I realized I was LGBT. Anyway, so Rios was having trouble with our game chat, so I currently have her on speakerphone via Discord. So we're going to try this out. I apologize if it sounds a little bit like traffic every once in a while. It is speakerphone, so sometimes it's just going to be a little weird. So we're going to do our best to see what happens and go from there. So, yeah. Um, as far as our schedule goes, Saturday we'll be back on the build table with the Storm Sorter, possibly wrapping that one up. Then Tuesday we'll be back in Hollow Knight, and Thursday, not sure what we'll be doing, but it'll be last stream for about a week because we will be leaving on our vacation at the end of next week. So, and there will be no streams. Clay's probably jumping for joy. There will be no streams for that week. So, I will put us in vacation mode. Anywho, we are currently at 161 followers. That's 9 away from our 170 follower goal. So I'd like to hit that by the end of the year. So please feel free to help us out with that. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, our YouTube, Spark923 at YouTube. And if you want to help out the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because not only does it get rid of those pesky ads, but it helps us out with server fees, maintenance fees, groceries, model kits, and diapers for little baby Bray. So we greatly appreciate the help there. And with that, I don't have much else to say, so we're going to go ahead and get back into the game, and I'll continue my story here once I get everything settled. So. All right. You hearing me okay, Rio? Okay. All right.
Are we live?
Yes, we are live. How's the treasure sorting going?
I'm still working on it.
Okay. Oh, we're
think
syncing.
I think that was the last one, maybe.
Okay.
We're
All right.
syncing
So
and missing it.
no. There was a hole. I took care of it. All right. So let's see. Where did I leave off on my story? Oh yeah, some guy was catfishing me. So the next morning after this phone call that I was very, very skeptical about, I was standing in the hallway at the bathroom where we were going to meet up, and I waited, and I waited, and I was a person, I didn't like being late for class. I told him, be here early so that we could talk and me not miss class or anything like that. Waited. The time that I was giving him till went by. I waited a little longer, and then guy never showed up. And I'm like, okay, so it was a total and complete farce. And so I went to class, went about my day. I don't think I saw the guy at all that day. And then that night, the person ended up calling me. I'm like, you know what? You're full of bullshit. I'm not gonna play this game. If you're gonna do that, just get a sick laugh. Fuck you. And then never answered the phone to that number ever again. But there was the curiosity of, well, if even though that guy was obviously not attracted to me, what if guys were attracted to me? So that sat in my mind well through near the end of high school. And near the end of high school, I was like, I think my whole thing with LGBT understanding was, I'm like, if it ain't hurting nobody and people are happy and they get to be with who they want to be with, fine, I'm happy with it. Not my, at that time, not my circus to deal with. And I was I was dating at the time, and then I went off to college, and I think that's when I had a bit more freedom to myself to explore ideas and concepts and all that. Uh, and if anyone has questions all along the way on this, feel free to chime in. I'll be, I will be more than happy to illuminate anything that I didn't illuminate. Anywho, so college goes around, and I start to, like, I was in graphic design. So I
You say
was
graphic design?
I took graphic design for video games and stuff like that. Uh, I went
I
to
never knew that.
it was well before ITT. Um, but I believe at that time I was with my girlfriend at the time. I I hear I hear Rio clicking. uh, but uh, but I was part of my course was we had to. No, you're fine. You're fine. I was just being weird. Um, but part of our assignments was we had to like go look up like digital artists and stuff like that, and like observe their work and like give our critiques on stuff. So I went to a few sites of different artists. Like let's see, um, what's that lovely one that people say don't go to if you don't want your childhood ruined? Oh yeah, Rule 34. Um, so Rule 34, DeviantArt, uh, uh, Fur Affinity. So it was all around, and so I'm seeing different art styles and stuff like that, and I started realizing that I showed interest in both female and male drawings. I found them both rather appealing. So I then like started, and then of course at that time I think bi was the most wild you could get on the LGBT, uh, uh, without being trans. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm bisexual. And so I told my girlfriend about it. She was on board with it. Didn't bother her at all because she was bi as well, but really didn't have anyone to talk to on it. So we both kind of just figured ourselves out through each other, kind of. And then we eventually broke up and moved on. And so after that, I may have moved on, but I was not happy, I guess. So I did. Uh, oh wait, I totally skipped over the whole part of this that I was supposed to be talking about. In high school, I was on the track team. Um, I was on the track team, and I tell you, uh, I guess how can I say this without what? What was that? What was that, Rio? Well, what was it? Oh. Yeah, I can. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so I was running track, and the thing is that usually when you're a guy, usually the like everyone, and back then, which was I'd say I graduated in '06, so around that time, the still like peak masculine form was like the build of a football player. They d- and they usually would only show like big upper body, uh, narrow hips, long legs, that kind of stuff. So, but to me, that never like fully appealed to me at all. But then when I joined track, I was introduced to the runner body, which was a bit more lithe, a bit more. a bit more, and how can I put it? Pretty much uh not as defined, a bit more like in between uh body shapes, so to speak. And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of attractive." And but then at that time I wasn't paying too much mind on it. But it did kind of play into later in college where I was like, okay, so I kind of go for an average kind of fit build, if anything. So not jacked or ripped or anything like that. So, and believe me, I did date one guy that was ripped, and that was probably the shortest relationship I was ever in. Um, but I was I was taking late classes, and just on break from one of our classes, one guy just said, "Hey," and we just started talking because they saw I was reading. I think it was a Mass Effect book or something like that, and they started talking to me about that, and we kind of hit it off to where I kind of stuck around after class and talked to him for a bit, and then then as things went and classes went on, like I started talking to him more and staying after class a bit more because usually on the nights I had that class, my brother was working at a hotel for till like late in the evening. So I was like, I could be here as long as I want and show up and still be home before him. So it was like, well, where I never really got a "where were you" from him, and the thing is that he'd go out and party, and I wouldn't be like, well, "Where were you?" And like, nah, I knew where you were. So, but anywho, after that, I just kind it was an interesting thing that I just kind of just after that night, after the like first few times of talking to that guy, and that I just kind of sat at home and just stared at a mirror for a while, and it just kind of I was like, who am I? And like, is this what I am? Am I into this? Would I be happy knowing that this is the real me and all this other? It was a moment. I think I sat up till about 2 in the morning just contemplating it. And eventually I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. We'll give it a shot and see how it goes. So me and that guy kind of dated for, I'd say, a month. And it wasn't bad, but eventually he kind of lost interest, and I was kind of like really more trying to focus on my classes and stuff, and so we mutually parted ways. And then there was, oh god, then there was the jock. Oh man, this guy. This is why I know I don't like meatheads, really. I mean, but this guy was on the football team, all that, and I guess I was just, I guess, I mean, the thing was, is what won me over is the guy was kind of a big, sweet dummy. But, oh, hello. We've got pirates. But, yeah, so that didn't really last long because he was a bit pushy, a bit, to me, as physical as I can be, I really like to get to know a person a bit before that happens. So he was a bit more pushy about that, and I was like, I'm not really wanting that right now, because I think I even like used, I kind of feel a little vulnerable at the moment, and I kind of just really want just friendship at the, just closeness at the moment, and not really that kind of thing yet, because I'm still kind of hurting, and But he's like, well, that's not really what I want. And I'm like, okay, well, we're done. He's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, I'm serious. We're done. He's like, well, what if I go telling people about it? I'm like, you don't know where I live. Like, you can tell anyone you want. Like, so, I was, and I'm like, but that means that you are going to have to admit that you are. And he kind of figured that out. He's like, oh yeah. If I say that you were, and they're going to ask me, how do I know that? And I'm like, yeah. So, Dum Dum kept his mouth shut. Um, and so, yeah. Figured out a lot up at college. My gosh, can we not be wrecking into stuff? um, but yeah, but then I found that I ended up finding another girlfriend that lived between where I was at college and back where I was at home. That was about a year long, and it that one was actually kind of a that one actually was kind of a cruel relationship I was in. Not as how it played out, but more as how it uh, more as how I found out why the relationship ended, and it sucked big time. I felt really like abused because I felt really like betrayed about it, and just really was like I got played. And so what happened was, um, she tried to do the cold goodbye on me, which was I'm just gonna stop talking to him and maybe he'll just take the hint. Well, I don't take hints very well, or at least I was too naive to figure out that that's what she was doing. So I showed up because I was going to I was bringing her brother some Nerf guns I had that I didn't need anymore and wanted to give them to him because I knew they get used. And then I showed up and the dad was like, "Oh, well, I wasn't expecting to see you." And I'm like, and he was very friendly about it. It wasn't like he was rude or vulgar or anything about it. I'm like, "Yeah, I told Jin uh, that I was dropping this off." And you're like, "Oh, okay." And then I'm like, and then I was like, we were kind of planning on doing something this week, and he's like, "Ah, really?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I kind of find it a bit odd that he's kind of acting like this. There was no interest in what I was saying or anything like that. So I like it. So I went to where she worked and said, "Hey, I got this all planned out." And then right there at her work, she's like, "Look, I just wanted to tell you that we're not together anymore." I'm like, "What?" And then she told me, "Yeah, my at the beginning, my boyfriend was kind of it was kind of looking like he wasn't going to recover from something he was diagnosed with in the hospital, but then he recovered." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I was just I was just what a shoulder to cry on, while and possibly just to replace this person who ended up not needing to be replaced. Okay, great. And so yeah, that sucked. And then after that, I kind of I literally actually swore off women for a little bit because I was like, why? I'm like, why would someone do something like that? That was just really like mean and cruel to do that. Um, and then I moved back home. And shortly thereafter, I enrolled in school here, and I met this one kind of quiet person sitting at the common area at the school we went to. I said, and I think starting conversation was you were playing a game or something on your computer, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's interesting." And like, "Yeah, so like I'm a bit of a gamer myself." And it's like, "Oh, really? What do you do?" I'm like, "Well, I'm mostly on console, so I'm not sure." console, so I'm not sure how you'd feel about. She's like, oh well, what kind of games do you play? I'm like, oh, I play Halo, I play this. And they're like, oh, that sounds interesting. And I'm like, yeah, there's also a book series with Halo. And I'm like, oh, books. And so I think it kind of started off with me giving her one of my Halo books, and then eventually she got a 360 and a copy of Halo.
360.
Yeah, this was back then, buddy. And
Back in the good days.
yep, I do believe it was ODST that had come out, and because Halo 3 was out and ODST was coming out, and her and I would play Halo 3 and Halo ODST like to ad nauseum. And so that was just fun. We'd like hang out, do all that. And the funny thing is that I was not looking to hook up, because immediately when we like started talking a bit more serious about things, uh, and not like serious in the like we were interested in each other's, more like serious of like more personal things and stuff like that. I said, so are you like seeing anybody or anything like that? She was dating online some guy from Texas.
Texas.
Yep. It's always Texas with me. Um, but and I jokingly at the time I'm like, geez, my like first like serious girlfriend left me for a guy in Texas. Wonder what it is that Texas has. I'm like, it must be something. I'm like, but anyway, so a few months go by. We had some classes together and all that, and then I believe it was one night. It was late when you messaged me. It was like maybe 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. She messaged me saying, hey, I can't sleep. I need to talk about something. Yeah. And just for some context, before this happened, my mom was saying, like, I think she likes you more than you know. And I'm like, Ma, nah, we're just friends. She has someone that she's already she's already set up for and all that. She wants to go down to Texas to be with him and all that. Like, she's like, I don't know. There's something about it. I'm like, hell, I bet you whatever I have in my wallet, you're wrong. So, that being said, so about 11:30 midnight rolls around, and I get a text. Hey, I need to talk to you about something. I've been thinking a lot about something. I really need your input. And I'm like, yeah, sure, anything. This was on my little flip phone I had. I had a little Nokia flip phone. But she's texting like, well, I've been thinking about it, and I don't know if I should go to Texas and try my luck with that guy, or I have an interest here that I kind of am curious about. And of course, my aloof ass goes, oh, okay. So what do you want? She's like, well, could you just help me feel out what my options are? I'm like, okay, well, here's how to feel that out. Oh, here we go. So I said, well, here's your options. You can either go down to Texas and A, live happily ever after in Texas, or B, go down to Texas, not work out, and then you're stuck in Texas. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, or you could try the option here and potentially live happily ever after without having to go to Texas. I feel like I'm giving Texas a lot of bad press, but that's not the point. I think it was more at that time I was still a little burned by my first steady girlfriend that she left me for some schmuck in Texas. But anyway, but I pretty much said, I'm like, yeah, you could give the guy here some without as much risk. And she's like, okay. So, and then she's like, okay, I think I might try the person here. I'm like, all right. Goes quiet for about maybe 10 minutes. I text back immediately. anyone I know? And she goes, you might. I'm like, ooh. So I start like guessing. And I think I guessed one person. She's like, no. I guessed another person. No. And then I went down the list of every guy I knew because I didn't know uh how she like saw women or anything like that. But she I get to the last one, and it happened to be one that she had dated before but was no longer interested in. And I'm like, it's not so and so. And she's like, oh no. Like, and I'm like, well, who could it be? And she goes, it's you, dum dum. I'm like, me? And I'm like, "W-" and she's like, would you be interested in going out? Then I'm like, absolutely. And then I go, oh damn it. And she's like, what? I'm like, I just lost $2 to my mom. And yeah. and and then shortly after that, I did like tell her when we got like more steady and stuff like that that uh that I was at that time bi and all the other stuff. And she was fine with it. She kind of said, "Oh, I have no problems with either guys or girls," so she kind of identified the same. Uh, and a few other shared interests we had, but then that went along, and years and years and years and years and years go by, and got married, and then I started seeing more refinements in the LGBTQ vernacular and stuff like that, and then I'm like, hon, I think I figured out that I might actually be pan because gender really doesn't matter to me, and I'd probably date anybody with a good personality. And just like, well, that's good. And so, and then I believe after we got married, Rio came out to me as Ace, and I said, I am fully for this and all that. Then I had a mild crisis after about a few weeks, and like, honey, what does this mean though? And like, does this mean nothing's gonna happen between us, or can stuff still happen between us, or and so, like I said, it took her being very awesome and also looking up a few comics online that explained it a hell of a lot better than anything could have been to explain it to me. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And I'm like, so you may not enjoy it, but you find that it's not so bad with me. And she's like, yes. I'm like, okay. And she's like, you should actually be pretty happy that you are a person that an asexual person is willing to have sex with. And I'm like, that makes sense. And so I took it as probably like the best compliment ever I could get from her. So yeah, it was that. And I mean, ever since that was figured out between us, I don't think we've had any issues as far as like sexuality or identity or anything like that uh, for a while. But yeah, and that's how I pretty much discovered my identity. Uh, a bit long, a bit boring, but hey.
You want to know a funny, to add a funny little tidbit
Oh,
to the
please.
point where you were going down the line?
Yeah.
I think I actually told you this once,
Yeah.
but but uh, so so sorry.
It's fine. It's fine.
But the thing is that I actually broke up with that Texas boyfriend
Uh,
literally 10 minutes after I told you that I liked you.
so you broke up with him, and then it's followed up by a text of me going, anyone I know?
No, what waited to like you, and this was around the time when I did start kind of messaging the guy and
Yeah.
like be like, hey, I don't think it'll work out.
Yeah.
And like as we were talking,
Uh-huh.
and so within 10 minutes of that conversation, I had broken up with him and we had started dating.
Yeah. Yeah. I, I didn't know that, but I knew you like I figured that when you were asking me, I'm like, well, either she's going to break up with the guy or she's broken up with the guy. It is just feeling and just doing a bit of like trying to. Well, after you put me into, I'm like, she either has broken up with him or is about to break up with him or something like that. I didn't know that you like had broken up with him. So, yeah. Uh. Oh. But I tell you, because I even mentioned that because the funny thing is that uh this happens to be a trend with me. I know that for a while, uh, well, actually, you knew I was bi before uh we started dating because you thought I was gay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, I'm not gay, but I'm pretty close. And it's like, oh, you're bi. I'm like, yeah, I'm bi. It's like, and then I think it was kind of shortly after that, like maybe a few weeks after that, that you messaged me about
Yeah.
no more Texas, and I saved one from Texas. Yay! Yeah. So, but yeah, it is. And in all honesty, I, I wouldn't say that I've had it easy as far as like my identity and stuff like that. Because when I was up at college, before I came back here, I had a few people that would be that because I went to school in a small town. Like I lived in Columbia, but I went to school in a small town, at a small community college, and it was one of those like you don't belong here kind of town. If you were different, um, and so kind of kept things a little close to the chest, even though that's where I was dating up there. And but I mean, I'd get a few sideways glances. I'd get a few best watch yourself around here with that kind of talking or whatever you're doing here kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, so not too welcome here. Got it. And then I just kind of kept it to myself until I moved back here and uh, I don't think I really started being super open about it till after we were a bit more serious and were like about to move in. I started being more open about it. Um, and mostly because I just was. It was one of those things where when something's a part of your personality and you hide it, it does wear on you after a while. And I remember that I kept saying like I don't feel like I'm me. I don't feel like I think I'm like and I like just met some new people because we had started going to conventions and stuff before we moved in, and I had met a huge new friend circle, and I was like, you know what the hell? These guys talk about LGBT stuff and all that stuff. Maybe I could tell them that I'm LGBT, and maybe I'll have like a good support group and stuff like that. And I brought it up and like, oh yeah, cool, and I'm like, okay, great, I'm accepted, yay, and went on my merry way on that. And then finally, I kind of just started doing a bit more research into things and stuff. Yes, research. And then I realized I was pan, and I'm like, okay, awesome. And then yeah. So that's the long-winded, kind of boring story of how I realized what I was. So, but long and short of it, if you feel, how do you know you're attracted to the same sex? It you know, you know. And the thing is that if you do feel that and you don't feel that it's wrong, embrace it. There's nothing wrong with it. If it doesn't end up being your thing, you'll know. So there's really no harm in it. And believe me, I know a lot of guys that have found men attractive, but they don't pursue it. And I'll poke fun at them too. I'll be like, "Oh, so you got the hots for that guy, huh?" It's like, "What? He's a very handsome individual." I'm like, "Right, handsome." I'm like, sure, awesome. Okay, let's just keep pushing this guy. No, we don't try to convert people. Um, but if you obvious, I will say, if you obviously show signs and are like belligerently like against what signs you're showing, I will take that opportunity to completely poke fun at you. That is like, I I worked with someone who was like one of those complete like, well, they're attracted, but no homo, no homo. And I'm like, okay, like, if you like, if you have to say no homo to convince yourself that a man can find a man attractive but not be attracted to him, I think you're more attracted than what you're implying. So if you can say, well, that's a very handsome guy, I'll be like, yeah, he is, and go on my merry way, and not think anything more of you than you just said that guy looks handsome. Okay, but if you say, well, that guy looks handsome, but no homo, or like it's not like I'm into him or anything, I immediately lock onto that. I'm like, someone's got Christmas presents in the closet. So, but it's not like I will like poke the bear or anything like that, but I will be very attentive for more flags. And if I find enough flags, I'll be like, buddy, I'm gonna put it on the table for you. You've said this, you've done this, I've noticed this, and also this. Like, I think you may need to find yourself, buddy. But that guy didn't really stick around long enough for me to reach that part of getting to know you. So I was like, well, hopefully they find and accept themselves in time. Clay, anything you want to input on this?
Input of what?
Just anything like tell about how you figured yourself out, or any insight of the question. And well, you already gave your opinion on the question that this whole thing led into, which is you just know. I'm like, if you are, you are. That's just pretty much what I heard you say. So,
Yep.
so, but let's see what else we got. What else we got?
As for figuring myself out, that was kind of a struggle for me.
Ah, well, it's not ever. Despite some people having like easy stories, it's really never as easy as you'd think, because there is a lot of identity issues. But if you want to share a bit of it, you can. If not, it's fine. We could always move on to something different.
I just never had many opportunities to explore that stuff.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Being being cross-eyed, people were turned away from me.
Oh, buddy. But, well, I always kind of found you very witty and have your own charming sense of humor, even if you do sometimes take it a bit too far. but but I always found you as a decent person. So,
As pretty much anyone I've tried to pursue has
oh,
rejected or they weren't LGBT.
uh, well. But hey, I mean, things worked out in the end. So,
Yeah.
so we all get there eventually, just different routes and different trials and all that other stuff. All right. Here's one. Uh, do bisexuals ever experience biphobia from homosexuals or lesbians? There was like stigmas around that bisexuals are just people who wanted attention, but I think that's kind of moved past that stigma. Or is it still pretty prevalent?
It's still pretty prevalent.
Oh man.
Because,
I've always
like,
heard of
you
people
know,
being
the
afraid of
lesbian,
dating someone who's bi,
like, well, women who
afraid they
date,
cheat on them or
like,
something.
men on,
Uh-huh.
on straight, and it's still around.
Oh, okay. But I mean, I
Unfortunately.
know that being pan also,
Like,
yeah.
to a certain extent, like,
Mhm.
it's also kind of gotten worse because now it's kind of spread to, like, aro ace people.
Oh jeez.
And because, like, well, this, like, how can you be a part of like, the LGBT if you don't feel sexual or romantic interests? I'm like,
It's
that's
an
not how it
identity.
works.
It's not.
The A in the LGBTQIA doesn't mean ally. It means
Well,
asexual.
they added another A for ally. So, because it's like
Right, so
IAA.
ally, but
Yeah.
that's not the main part.
Yeah, but
Like,
they added two A's, so there's ace and ally. So,
yeah.
yeah. But I do know that when I came out as pan, I did have someone go like, "Well, you're a little greedy, aren't you?" And I'm like, I think you're mistaking me for something else." Um, and
Like, there's always going to be, like, those jackasses who are like, well, aren't you a little greedy?
yeah, and
Because
it's
you're
and
pan.
it's
I'm like,
also and it's also kind of just a gatekeeping thing. They're like,
yeah.
"Oh, well, you're this new identity, but how can you ever understand this? Because you might just be a trend. You might just be this, and but we've been this all this time, and like I understand me better than you understand me, and I think maybe get to know me first before you start saying what I am or what I'm not. So just
I'm
back
like,
the
no,
hell
no,
off."
please tell me more about the existential crisis I didn't have when I came out as asexual.
Yeah.
No, please, I'm all ears.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that you were me.
yeah, and like tell me how it feels when you have to explain to someone you really care about uh that you're not only attracted to them but you're attracted to this type of person and uh that especially because Rio or yeah, Rio used to be very protective of me. Uh
Used to be.
well, she still is, but not as intense as she. Little story. Uh, we went to a GameStop that.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, I have to bring it up because it was adorable and frightening. Um, but there was a GameStop that I frequented to the point they knew me by name. I knew the management, and we were like buddy buddy whenever we come in. So I came in, and one of the managers, she was being relocated to a new branch, and she was really upset. And when I came in, she was so happy to see me. She's like, "I didn't think I was going to be able to say goodbye. They're moving me to a different store." And she came out behind the counter and gave me a big hug. I'm like, "It's okay. It's cool. It's cool." And then all of a sudden, I just have this feeling in the back of my head that someone is staring very intensely at me. And you know the sound that Wolverine's claws make when they come out? I heard that inside my brain, and I glanced over my shoulder and saw the 5'3" love of my life at the time, and still, just looking at me like, "Why is she touching you?" And I'm like, "Honey, she's a friend." This is a friend hug. And so after all that goes and all that, we leave the store, and this was probably the first and maybe only time Rio had ever gone, so who's she? And I'm like, okay, let me explain. I'm like, I've been coming to this store for so long. I've known her for years. We're on like first name basis, all that. But I'm like, I don't know her any further outside of the game store than her coming out behind the counter and giving me a hug. That is it. And she's like, oh. And I'm like, she's a good friend, and she was just really kind of upset that she had to leave, and uh, that's all that was. And she's like, okay. She's like, fine, that's fine. I like, sorry. I just because I think we like were maybe a month into dating, and
This was right after we started dating.
yeah, and so she was still in the like, it's mine, not yours, mine. And so, and I was kind of the same way too, because there was one guy who used to always hang around us, and he was okay, but when he started getting too close, and I'll tell you, Rio can handle herself, but when I saw him getting like up on her, pretty much, I stood up and I took a step, and funny thing is that she looked at me and she's like, Luke, just sit down. And I took a step back and sat back down. I'm like, wait a minute. And the guy eventually left. I'm like, did you just tell me to sit down? She's like, yeah, I did. like, I don't know how to feel about that. So, but it just showed we had a
One of my exes.
yeah. So we had a lot of trust off the bat, to where we had enough trust to where were we were willing to hear the person out before like jumping on an assumption. So so that was something that really made our relationship click, was that we were willing to hear a person out before immediately going, I don't like that, I don't want this, but yada yada yada, you better not do that again or anything. So yeah, it was. So key thing to anyone out there in any relationship: trust your partner and hear them out, and if something does bother you, speak up about it and work it out. Sometimes working it out will mean that it's not going to work out, but it's better to figure that out early than to go for it for years and years and find out about it in a negative way, or to just go along with the movements until you just settle. So that's something I can tell you is, if something, if you communicate, I think your relationships are going to be great, or you'll find things out that you didn't know and then be able to make decisions on that. And if those decisions lead to, well, I do care about this person, but I don't think they're the person that I could be with forever. And that's just how it goes. Um, and there's nothing wrong with that. You don't need to settle on the first person that comes down the line. I mean, I didn't. I wanted to, but I didn't, because they left me for Texas. And I was pretty bitter about that. But anyway,
Texas.
yeah, Texas is a big story in my life, I guess. Well, not really. Just I lost a lot of girlfriends to Texas. Yeah. All right. Let's see. What else we got? Okay. So this one's popped up again, but it's in a different setting. Um, when two women get married, are they both brides, or would they prefer to be called, or would one prefer to be called the groom? Same with two men, both grooms. This is the same thing. it's going to be two grooms, and it's probably going to be two brides, or it'll probably be woman and woman, or man and man. So I'm going to tell you, you're just kind of cutting hairs there, trying to fit it into an ideal that you just can't shake off your brain. Um, so let's see. How can I show meaningful support to an individual that needs it rather than a whole community? I'd like to show it. I'd like to show that person if a person needs. I'd like to show that if a person needs to talk or needs help or anything, I would like to help. Okay. Um, I've got I've got points on this, but if anyone else wants to jump in on this, they can.
Let me know if Clay's talking, because I can't hear him.
Right. Clay, do you want to jump in on this one, or do you want me to take the lead on it?
You can take the lead.
Okay. So for this one, um, I'd say if you see someone who's struggling and they've been open and about themselves to you, the best thing you can do, if nothing else, is listen and then just hear them out and give honest answers. And and don't just shrug them off. So don't. I mean, if someone's like, if you are a person that's never been around a person who's like been attracted, like if you have a friend who's a woman who's attracted to women, or a man who's attracted to men, or something like that, or someone who just found out their ace and don't really know how to perceive themselves, or something like that, you need to sit down and let them talk. Let them explain themselves. Let them talk about how they're feeling. Let them explain the feelings that are going on with them. Because I'll tell you, even if you can't give them an answer, they will be so grateful that you sat down and heard them out and did not judge them. They will be ecstatic. And they will know that you are a person that even if you are not like part of the community or anything like that, that you are a person that they can come to, that they can be safe with, and that will not judge them. And that is my 2 cents on that. Rio, if you want to give your 2 cents, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, like I agree. Where like I feel like this could be applied to pretty much any community.
Exactly.
Where it's like we're all here to,
Mm-hmm.
be a society.
Mm-hmm.
If nobody's hurting anyone, it's the only best thing to do would be to just be a decent person.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Support the people you care about. You know, you don't like. I would kind of say, maybe you should just support everybody equally.
Yes.
Like you shouldn't just be like, I'm just gonna support you, but the other gay guy over there, you
Mm-hmm.
know, it's kind of weird when you're
Yeah.
gonna be like, I only want to support you specifically.
Right. Well, I mean,
Whereas, like, I feel like these days you you kind of need to be a little bit more progressive than that these
yeah.
days.
I mean, I see the intention of this. I think it could be phrased better from what they're trying to say. Um,
Yeah, that's kind of what I've
yeah,
felt.
I think they want to. I think this is a person who's trying, but doesn't want to immediately jump fully into the pool. Which, in all honesty, I'll say this as someone who came from a pretty open-minded family, though I do have a lot of family that are very closed-minded, conservative, religious types. Number one, it's not just a shock to you when you identify yourself, when you take the step to reveal yourself to other people, it's a shock. It can be a shock to them. So I'm not saying that if they react negatively that you should uh, say, well, they have every right to react negatively. No, no, they should be understanding, but you should give them the grace that this is not something they were expecting, and it's going to be a bit of a shock. But I will say, if it goes super south, like they start saying, "You're not my kid," or "You're not my relative," "No one in my family would ever be like this," or anything, that's when it goes spiraling out of control, and there's nothing you can do at that point except let them say what they're going to say. Don't let it affect you. And then either in time they will come to realize that they are in the wrong, or they will never realize it and then be miserable and alone, and or just stick around other toxic people like them, and then by the time that they reach the end and the people who come to see them are very few and far between, they go, I thought I had more people who would come to see me at this late time in my life, or something like that. Then they realize, oh, I was such a horrible person in my life that no one cared about me enough to come see me when I'm dying. Uh, that is a bit. That is a bit of a harsh example, but I will say that Rio is correct in the sense of, but I'm also saying, if you are not part of the community but you want to be supportive, but you don't want to like walk out into a pride parade and walk with everybody and all like that, that's fine. Take your time. Ease yourself into it. Get to know somebody that can help you understand it more. And then if you want to be more supportive as a whole, great. You don't have to rush straight into everything. It's completely fine. So, uh, let's see. What do we got? What do we got? Here's one. Would people get offended if I just use the word they for literally everything?
No, that's kind of the whole point
I
of
don't
what
think
we
so.
want.
I think I don't see that as a problem. And the thing is that if you walk into a situation where you don't know, I would probably just perch myself up on using they until unless that person like identifies their pronouns, or if you the thing is that sometimes you don't know, and there are people like, this is something maybe only I ever experienced with how heavy my ADHD is, but I'm a curious person, and I love to pull information. I love to know as much information about people as I can. Not like not like super like vital information, but mostly like if someone has an interesting personality or something like that, I want to know, like, what about this about you? What about this about you? If I was to meet someone and let's say they were non-binary, and meaning they do not go by female or male pronouns or them they or anything like that, I would probably start off with just saying using them and they, and then if because sometimes my brain's curiosity peaks a bit, and it's probably one little fault I have, I'd probably, knowing what I know now, I would say, do you present a certain way, or like what are your definite pronouns? And if they said, "Oh, sometimes I do identify as he him or she her, but I prefer they them." And so then I'd be like, "Okay, then whenever I see this person, I will refer to them as they them." And but the thing is I actually had I had a straight person get very angry at me for calling them they them.
Yeah, it's the only people that get offended by it.
Lawrence.
I'm like,
It was a straight person.
well, and the thing is
See,
that
the heterosexuals are very confusing sometimes.
yeah, the heteros are a bit confusing, and I think calling them the heteros might be a bit of a slur, but but not really, because that's what they are. But the thing is that with how with especially in like the convention community, it is really hard to like see an obvious straight person or an obviously like there is so much of like the LGBTQ community in like the convention scene that you'd be shocked to have a straight person just go, "Oh, I'm straight." Like you'd be like, "Oh, you're rare." And like 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 it's nice to see you guys out at this. Like so
It's like, oh, look, a rainbow.
oh look, oh look, a regular horse. Wow. Anyway, no unicorns here. Oh boy.
I was gonna call him a unicorn, but then I realized.
No, we're the unicorns. They're just the regular horse. Oh look, a donkey.
It's like donkey, but with like a unicorn horn mask, or like with a potty hat on.
Oh yeah. Oh, here we go.
That's the unicorn they are. They're donkey wearing a potty hat.
Okay, I kind of like this because this is pretty funny. This is kind of going off of like the whole "that's our word" kind of thing,
Oh
where
yeah.
one group of people can say a particular word that's technically a slur, but the people who were seen as the oppressors are not allowed to say it. So, do gay people call each other straight because straight people call each other gay? Actually,
What?
no. Here's what it: do gay people call each other straight because straight people will call each other gay? Like, probably back in high school, this would have happened. Like, well, that's gay, or boy, you're gay, or something like this is a person that grew up in like the early 2000s. So I'm like, I think about that now, and I will say I have I have said to like people at my work when things are like acting a certain way, I'll be like, well, that's very political party that I'm not of you, and and but I could see that if I was with someone who was a good friend of mine who's LGBT and they did something that is obviously something that someone like hetero or very very straight would do, I'd be like, well, I'd probably be like, that's very straight of you. Or
I
to
have literally never heard this happen. Like,
you've never like
this a thing?
pardon what?
Is this an actual like thing?
When you were in high school, did you ever hear the
Review or like
no 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 what they're going off of is like you but ever in high school did you ever hear like a bunch of guys going like they hear something like, wow, that's really gay, like like in an insulting manner? Okay, so they're going off of that saying like, well, since straight people do this, do gay people do the opposite and say, well, that's very straight of you, or
oh.
that's very
I
straight?
thought I thought from
I've
the way
never
he
have.
asked that,
Uh-huh.
he heard like a gay person do that. I'm like, is that an actual like thing that
I think if anyone,
people do?
I think in my for me, I would do this definitely with people that know my humor and would get it.
Yeah.
Uh, but
If not, we should probably start doing it.
oh, definitely.
The heterosexuals will probably start crying.
Yeah. Um. Okay, so here's one that we kind of. Okay. Now we've already answered that one. because this one is what's the difference between pan and bisexuality. For the record, bisexuality is actually more diverse than you think. Bisexuality means you're attracted to two genders. Now, the thing is that doesn't mean you're attracted to men and women. You could be attracted to genderqueer. You could be attracted to non-binaries. That is actually a pretty expansive identity when you put it to what it could be. So, uh, okay. So here's what someone said about pansexuality, which I kind of find funny, but it's not true. Normally, I just stick with hot is hot or it's bi with extra options. Um,
Buy with extra.
those are wrong, but I admire the creativity with
I would say.
it's just to reiterate, pansexual means that it's not the gender that you're attracted to, it's more the person. So just to clarify that, if you weren't watching in the first half of our stream tonight, but I do find this I do find this pretty funny. As a guy who had received, I mean, when I first came out pan to somebody that wasn't Rio or wasn't one of my close cosplay friends, one person, I knew they were a safe person, but they also had a pretty wicked sense of humor, in the sense of they sent me a picture of a cast iron pan tied up in bondage rope, and I'm like, if I didn't know that this was seriously a joke, I would be very angry. And they're like, but you're not. And I'm like, no, I'm rather impressed you found something that you could do this joke to. And so they were very proud of themselves. But I digress. Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. Where does the gay accent come from? I have no idea.
California.
California?
I place my bets at California because, like, I've heard that accent a lot
Yeah.
with my uncle.
And the thing is that it
Really
made
only a small percentage of
yeah,
gays
it's
talk like that.
oh yeah, and it's all as Clay said, it's a small percentage that talk like that. So that is more of a I think it's more of a West Coast thing.
It's more like around New York, like Queens,
Oh
where
yeah.
that came from.
So New York so it's more of a coastal thing then cuz that's would be California and New York. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's a coastal thing. So your coastal gays, that's their accent. Yeah. Remember, folks, we're just doing this and we're being lighthearted about it. We're not trying to be offensive. So take what we say as just us trying to be funny. We're not trying to be mean. So, and if you're insulted by that, I apologize that you're not seeing the humor in it, because I laugh at my sexuality a lot, and believe me, I pull out. There are, and Rio knows it. I have my serious tone, and then I have my high tone, which is and I do this with my boss now that I'm like a bit more out at work. Um, she'll come up to my desk and like, okay, so I have something we need to talk about, and I will put my chin on my hands and like, oh yes, spill the tea, and so there is a tone where like a bit more of my like sassy, like almost kind of more feminine side comes out, and I'm like, come on, girl, spill the tea. I want to know, and and my boss is like, you just switch into a totally different person when it comes to these conversations. I'm like, because I'm excited and I kind of like the gossip. And so, and Rio's even experienced that too, where we'll like be in a car and she'll bring something up. I'm like, girl, don't even get me started. And and she's like, and here it goes. So I think that's more just something that developed from certain areas like New York and California, and it just became a stereotypical thing to in media to like make a gay person obvious in media. Which I'll tell you, a lot of like gay guys I've met do not talk like that. They do not. Some
I've
do.
only ever met
Yeah.
I've only ever met two people that talk like that.
I mean, Clay doesn't.
Clay does not talk like that.
No, I've only met two
Yeah.
people. That's
Only
it.
two people. I probably met maybe three. And like I said, one of them was a tone switcher like me, where normally they talk pretty normal, but when they're excited and they're around like other people in the community, it's like, yes, girls, let's go. And like, so yeah, it's not common. Uh, but it is interesting when you're around it because you're just like, is this person real? I do love I do love Uncle Paul. Uncle Paul is awesome. Uncle Paul is awesome. It's like, oh my gosh, he's a stereotype.
I have so many funny things from Uncle Paul. Funny stories. There was one time. So my uncle, he's naturally from here, but he moved out like
Ow.
fucking 50 years ago.
Yes.
And so he's had pretty much the same boyfriend for like the past like 30 or something years. They've, you know,
Uh huh.
they do their thing. We don't ask questions.
Yep.
But they were roommates. So but one of the things he tried was he tried to go to the YMCA with the shortest white shorts I have ever seen.
That is a
And
choice. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
and we live in Missouri, and my brother is like not like at the time my brother knew that my uncle was gay, but I was it was just Uncle Paul.
Uh huh.
Like so Tim is like, you cannot go out dressed like that, Paul. This is we live in Missouri. It's not this was like
I mean, you lived in a part of Missouri that is like, you don't belong here, feller. And like, so, yeah,
yeah, we grew up in like South,
yeah,
St. Louis.
yeah,
So, there was a lot of, and this was also like closer probably to 2010.
yeah.
So, it wasn't really,
Open-mindedness has not reached this far.
you did not want to wear short shorts in the city
Yeah.
at that point. But like, so yeah, my brother's like, yeah, Uncle Paul, you can't be fucking wearing those. And he was like, why not? And Uncle Paul,
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna be completely honest, you will get your ass beat, and not in the way you'd probably like it.
Clay,
He just
would you
started
not throw up on
laughing
me?
and he wouldn't change.
Yeah. We are sinking, Clay, and you're throwing up. Stop it. But yeah,
I gotta
but
add to the water.
no, I love Uncle Paul. Uncle Paul is a gem, and
I don't know who Uncle Paul
He's
is.
hilarious.
Uncle Paul is my wife's uncle, and very like flamboyantly gay, very fun. And I like how your mother approached it with us like, oh, Paul, and she just kind of. I know your mother's accepting of it, but it's kind of funny of her generation. They all try to just like speed past the explanation of it. Where she's like,
Okay, Paul's gay.
yeah, it's like, oh, then there's Uncle Paul. He lives out in California, and if you don't get that because she kind of shoots you a look when she says California, and then she'll just go, he's gay. I'm like, oh, like okay, like is that a problem? So,
Well, I
definitely,
remember when Tim told me that he was gay,
uh
because
huh.
I was probably closer to 30.
Uh-huh.
I was like, we were
Uh-huh.
when we did that. And
Well,
I'm
you
like, wait, what do you mean Uncle Paul's gay? What, like, he goes, yeah, you've never noticed that he had the same roommate for the past 30 years? He didn't ask questions. I'm like, well, it was Uncle Paul.
Well, the thing
I
was
didn't
is
ask
you and I
questions
would have
about
been
his
dating at that time
roommate.
if you were 30. So, that was a pretty recent thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, but
Hell, I even met my uncle's
roommate.
roommate slash boyfriend a few times. He was a pretty cool dude.
Uh-huh. Okay, so here's the next one we got. Um so LGBTQ, queer. What does it mean? Okay. So, let's start with an explanation here. If we want to go with the originality of this whole thing, it used to just be a word that meant awkward or strange or something like that. That is what the original conceivement of the word meant. Now, it did become a slur for a while, but then was I think it is the proper term reclaimed. It was
I mean,
it
yeah.
it was I think or re-emancipated or something like that, where they where we kind of take it back, and now it means someone who's curious about their identity. And so it's not, I guess you could say, from like what how people perceive it, but now it's more seen as a like identity than a slur now. I'm not sure how up in the air that is at the moment. But if someone came up and say, "Yeah, I identify as queer. I don't really know what I am," or something like that, I'd be like, "Okay, so you're questioning yourself." And so, because a lot of people say the Q means queer or the Q means questioning, and I'm like, okay, so that's what we're chalking it up to, is they're questioning their identity and trying to find out who they are. And I'm like, okay, fine, good. If it works for you, it works for you. So, I mean, there are worse things than that to be considered a slur. Uh, I wouldn't like go. I mean, depending on who you're talking to in the community, I probably wouldn't go running around just saying it willy nilly, um, until you
Oh, yeah.
know how it's accepted. So just be careful. But I think with the newer generation and the more open mindedness that's coming about, I think in time it'll be like, yeah, this used to be bad, but now we see it as a term that it's for people to say, I don't know what I am, I'm questioning it, and I am someone who wants to learn more about me. And if that's how that ends up turning around, great. Um, Regarded as a reclaimed slur. Community originally used it, and it became a slur, and then was reclaimed. So, okay, yeah, all right, sweet. Um, okay, so so here's one, like, just a genuine. Is it rude to just say? Is it rude to ask, why are you gay? Um, I think this is another, like,
Yeah, it
depends
kind of
on the
is.
scenario. I think, but I would it depends on the tone and the manner that you're approaching it. I will say I will say if you're like Joey Tombaroni from New York and go, "Hey, so why you gay?" Like, I tell you, like, okay, buddy, don't have to come up with the attitude on it. But if someone said like, "So," I mean, so you'd kind of just go with that and just say, "Well, why do you breathe air?" Why do you like breadsticks and instead of Cheddar Bay biscuits? I mean,
And a lot of people still think we choose it
and
to be this
it's
way.
and the thing is that I I am fully on board with the whole it's something that's born in our in our makeup because I'm pretty fairly certain not everyone wakes up and goes, "Wow, that person's attractive. They have such a great personality." And I know that there are people that are born out there like, "I like women with boobs. I like men with. I like men. I like this. I like, I like, I like people who I can't tell which way they are." Uh, it's and the thing is that I could see where there are people out there who would say, "Well, I kind of choose to date men." Well, then I'm like, okay, so you're implying that you have other options. So, do you have you ever tried the other options? So, I'm just gonna say right now. I mean, some people will say that they choose to date a certain type and stuff like that. I'm like, well, now you're just getting the brass tacks. If you're attracted, it's not a matter of if you choose it; it's if you're attracted to it. And if you're attracted to it, uh, that's more of the thing than anything else. It's not really I mean, when you're attracted to it, you choose the person you date. But if you're attracted to men, you're attracted to men. That's how it goes. Unless, of course, you're attracted to both or all. You're attracted to both generic genders or all the other genders or stuff like that. But it's just something.
I went the off-brand gender.
I'm a bleh.
What's the? I want makers. I want to be a. I identify as Maker's Mark.
Maker's Mark. Jeez. Um. Oh, here we go. Um. What was it, in what form of media could you possibly think triggered your identity to kind of come out? Okay. Um.
You know this for me.
Um. Alistair for you.
Well, for that one, yes. But
Yeah.
for my original bi romantic,
Yeah.
you know that one.
Yeah. But you're welcome to share it if you want. I don't want to take over every explanation for you.
Oh yeah, mine was Shigo.
Oh yeah, I tell you, Shigo was hot. Anyway, like literally, um, I for me with guys, it was. In all honesty, I don't really know exactly which would have. I hmm. It was mostly. I don't think it was like any type of like video media or anything like. I think it was mostly in the art that I had to observe for class and stuff like that, in graphic design. I just some of the comics I would go through had very like well written guys that it wasn't like I wrote this character to obviously be gay or obviously uh LGBT for some reason, and uh I was I'm like, and there would be parts where you'd be reading it and you'd see like what the tags were and all that, and it'd be like, oh, this is definitely a story about LGBT. This has got this in it and this in it. I'm like, okay, and but then you'd be reading about this character and like, oh, this character's actually, but you'd be reading through and you're like, oh, this guy's probably going to hook up with this guy or something like that. Then you find out, oh, this guy's just this is a straight guy that's ending up in these situations where he's learning about his friends and stuff like this. And I'm like, well, that's interesting, and I I can't really think of a specific one, but I will say just like a I I'd have to say it was mostly just a type, if anything. That it was just a regular kind of person trying just to be a normal, just trying to be a normal person. Had a job, had interests and stuff like that. It wasn't really anything stand outish. It's like it's just a basic everyday person. that I was attracted to. I'm like, oh, that's and relatively attractive at its circumstances and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, but I will say I will join the crowd when watching Avengers Endgame, and they go, "That is America's ass." I was in that crowd at the movie theater, and I said, "Yeah, it is." Uh, though I do know that Rhea was looking at Bucky Barnes, not at Captain America. So,
I mean, I like both Bucky and Cap.
yes, I know. I have seen the fan fiction that you read.
Way to call me out.
Sweetheart, I think even a straight woman would read that.
Straight woman.
Oh, they do.
Oh, they do. They do. Oh, man.
They do, trust me.
Yes.
They know good slash fic when they see it.
Yes. Clay, do you have like a specific person in media or form of media that awakened your interests?
Let's see. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess.
Oh! Go on. I'm a Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Go on. I will say, Legend of Zelda did awaken a few things in me too, but go on.
So, I may have thought Link was hot in that game.
He was. Don't deny that he was.
And then there's one scene when he has his shirt off.
Yes, I remember that scene. Shirt off scene.
Like,
Yes,
it's
Link
sumo
was
wrestling somewhere.
Link was very attractive in that game. Probably one of the reasons I want to play it again, but god damn, it's so hard to get a copy of it. Anyway. I will say I found Cloud
I can
Strife
loan
from
you a way to play it.
yeah, I found Cloud Strife attractive from Final Fantasy VII. I thought he was attractive. I'm not ashamed. Though I will say Sephiroth, I always wanted to punch him in the face.
Me and Shigo.
You and Shigo, yes. Oh man.
I used to get GamePro magazines,
Yeah.
and there was an ad for Devil May Cry in one of them.
Oh my god, Devil May Cry. Yeah, that was a lot of awakenings for some people. Oh boy.
And then I remember his name's Dante, I think.
Yep, Dante, the main
The
character.
Yeah, there was a picture of him.
Yeah,
There was a full page.
Yeah, Dante. Well, see, Dante. Virgil's more conservatively dressed, though cute. Oh, we got a problem, Clay. Though cute in a
And I got
brooding kind of
TNT.
way. He.
I've never played I know what Dante looks like, and that's about it.
Well, Dante's your pretty much like is pretty much your like lazy ass like dude bro kind of, but he also is like, I know I'm hot, I'm gonna flaunt it, and if you don't like it, well, don't look. And Dante could be if a few dialogue changes, and Dante could be gay. Could be gay. I'm just saying. There's not much to. There's mostly just dialogue segments that could change, and you'd be like, oh, okay, Dante's gay.
If any, I was also kind of making a Dante's info when he's weird and stuff.
I can't
Yeah.
see this damn shit.
I was like, yeah, I like Dante. I don't know shit about that
There it is,
series.
wait,
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it, sweetie. But yeah, no, I got to. I thought Dante's not bad, and having played the games and stuff, I mean, I get it. He's got an attitude that that I can't stand in actual guys, but I know why they wrote him that way. So
Gotta make them booty.
yeah. It's like I don't. No, I think you could technically like class him as like a He's like I really don't give a fuck if you find me attractive. I think I'm hot, but he's a narcissist. That's what he is. Narcissist.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
You know.
Jeez, come on. We need to bail here. But yeah, it's Dante is definitely. I will say, when people say like, "I would love to be in a relationship with a guy like Dante," I'm like, "No, you don't. You do not. That is like super toxic boyfriend material. He does. He would not care about you." He'd be like, "You can tell. You can call me. You can call me sexy, but that's about it. That's all I need you to do, because I can do everything else myself." Gosh. We are just sinking. Let's see. What else we got? Okay. Well. Oh, I got distracted and the boat's sinking. Okay, hang on. I mean, we're an 18 plus stream, and this one, I'm not sure how far we want to go on it, but I mean, I could answer this one, but I don't think I should. Um, Man, they're actually firing fireballs at us.
18+ string.
I mean, we do not have to answer this, but I might have to just say it because I just need a laugh at the moment. It says, does taking it from behind really feel good, or is it just holding out to the other guy finishes? It's honestly a matter of preference, really. If you like it, some guys like it, some guys just don't at all. And and I guess we could leave it at that. So, yeah, we'll just leave that one at that. It's like, it's a preference. Some people do, some people don't. And if you're curious about it, you are more than welcome to go figure it out yourself. Experiment. Enjoy. Figure out your limitations. Oh, we've lost the ship.
There goes the ship.
Oh no, I sunk the ship. Okay, let's see here. Oh, one of the comments is, as a straight guy who enjoys getting pegged, it feels good. Way to go, buddy.
As a straight guy of what?
Are you sure about that, buddy?
As a straight guy who enjoys being pegged, it feels good. Okay.
I'm pretty sure that man's about to learn about himself in a couple of years.
Well, there
I
you go,
mean,
somebody experimented.
he experimented and he finds that he enjoys it. You know what? Good on you, buddy, for that.
I mean, it makes sense with what that organ's meant for.
Yeah.
But if you know the one.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I know.
But yeah, that's entirely kind of what it's. One of the things that they think is why it's there.
Yeah. So, let's see. Maybe I'm just bad at this one's just made me laugh. I may be just bad at using Google, but what the hell does cis mean? Oh,
Can we play guess the age range for this one?
oh, please do. 'Cause I don't think it gives me an age, but we could definitely guess.
I'm gonna vote boomer.
Boomer. I'd say boomer. Clay, what do you think? Boomer?
Because that sounds like a boomer question.
It does.
Like, I can
What are we
imagine.
answering?
Here's what the question was, and we're playing guess the age. It doesn't tell the age, but this is what it's saying. It's saying, I may just be bad at using Google, but what the hell does cis mean? CIS.
We're trying to guess the age?
We're trying to guess the age of the poster. It doesn't. There is no age, but we're trying to guess like the age range of it. We're thinking boomer.
Where did the question come from?
This is Reddit.
So it's not a boomer.
Oh, Generation X maybe.
Could be Generation X or Millennial.
It could be. Well, not a lot. Well, not a lot.
I have met some.
Okay, so you've met some. So it's possibly a boomer, most likely probably Gen X or early millennial. Or as I like to call them, zennials. But
There's not a lot of boomers on Reddit.
yeah, there's not a lot, but it doesn't mean there aren't. But lovely enough, person responds cis or cisgender means you identify as the gender you were assigned at birth. That's simple. It's really not. In all honesty, I think I don't really want to sound like I'm taking away from something that some people may actually take pride in or something like that. But it kind of, cisgender seemed to have come about as something for people to say, yes, I am straight and this is how I identify myself as. In all honesty, if you came up to me and said you're cisgender, like, okay, great. So you're you. Awesome. I think it'd be like you're. Go ahead.
Cisgender doesn't necessarily mean
To
straight,
me,
though.
it's more of a delegation from, like, the opposite of cis is transgender.
True.
So
I see what you're saying, and Clay made a good point too. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. Because Clay just got it to me too. He's like, just because you're cis doesn't mean that you are technically hetero either. So technically, if you wanted to break it down, there's you could have a guy who identifies as their birth gender, so cis bi ace, something like that. So yeah, it's not, it doesn't technically mean you're heterosexual. It means you identify as what you were born as. So, but a lot of people who are like anti-LGBT will say that they are cisgendered as a way to be like, yes, I'm straight. And they use they use that term like I'm Christian. Doesn't mean that you hold the values of Christianity. It just means you're saying that to be like, I'm better than you because I'm not different. Or so yeah, it gets muddled.
But at the same time, I have used, like, heard, like, actual people use it.
Yeah, it's a bit jarring when you hear it used correctly, when you are exposed to it being used negatively, or in the way that people use it to try to address superiority. But yeah, you are correct. People do use it as, well, I'm cis, but I am this and this and that. So yeah.
Because, like, I usually just be like, well, that just means that you're, like, it's like an opposite label.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a thing, you know?
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I'm reading through this one thing that's talking about all the letters in the LGBTQ plus acronym, and one of the responses that's obviously it's either a joke or it's a guy who thinks he's being clever but isn't. They're like, "Why do you keep taking all the letters?" And one of the best responses is, "We are the alphabet mafia. We won't stop until we have them all."
Oh god, yeah.
I like that
And
one.
multiple
No,
copies.
I like that one.
That one's clever. Oh. Okay. Now we're getting to a few like trans ones that I really don't want to try to speak on behalf of the trans community because that's I
Oh
yeah. Um
yeah, obviously.
yeah. I mean, I've written characters that are trans and intersex and stuff like that, but that doesn't make me a knowledge on it, so I'm not going to try to answer in lieu of them. So, uh yeah. Uh Okay, so now I'm getting into some of the like bad responses. So here we have one guy goes, "So how does dick taste?" And then one person responds, "Just ask a straight girl." Why'd you come here for that?
That's a good response.
That is a great response. um, let's see. What do we got? What do we got? No, that one's too political. We're not doing that. Um,
Too political.
okay, here's one. Because sometimes I'm a little wishy washy on how I feel about this. Has anyone felt empowered because a corporation applied a rainbow flag to their corporate logo? It just seems like pandering to me. Yes and no. Yes and no on that one for me, because there are some companies that are genuine about it. But you can also tell when a company isn't genuine about it. So like some companies, as soon as Pride Month's over, they don't. They'll stop saying, "Oh, we're fully accepting company. We're all about equality here and stuff like that." All that stuff drops after Pride Month, where the true ones
Yep.
will, even though the rainbow flag will come off, they'll still have like maybe a small one on their window, or they will have something that says we are fully accepting of different identities and stuff like that in their ledger that they don't remove after Pride Month or anything like that. So it depending on the company. Sometimes I feel like, yeah, it's great to have a company that's openly supportive of it, and then you go to like, I'd say, let's try to call one out that's obvious. Apple. Apple, once Pride Month's over, like, we are back to just black and white and gray phones. Yay. So, yeah, you you know when it is and you know when it isn't, and when you know it's pandering, you kind of just have that like, yeah, yay, you're doing the bare minimum. Awesome. And then the real ones you're like, "Yep, I could keep coming here." So, you have any input on that, hun?
No, I agree. It 100% depends on what company it is and like
Mhm.
just because like the ones that are obviously won by members of the community are obviously gonna not I would still want to support them,
Mhm.
but they are also not going to change it back. Most likely, they're probably gonna already have those
Mhm.
established into their logo or like something like we are a
Mhm.
blank
Yeah.
company,
Yeah.
so like you would obviously know that they are ones who are
Yeah.
actually you know
Well, you know what? I think I could explain it
doing
best.
those.
Best is when St. Patrick's Day was explained to me, because I knew I had a lovely English teacher who is probably the most Irish woman without an accent I've ever met. And I said, "So what do you think about St. Patrick's Day and people going all out and all that stuff. She's like, if you want to be traditional about it, all you really need on St. Patrick's Day is enough green to be a clover on your lapel, and that's it. You don't need to go all out with everything. So if I see a building that has a small little pride flag in its window, or has like or if I look it up on Yahoo or something like that, and it says we are a LGBTQ run store, and it's in their like founding message and stuff like that, I'd be and it's not like plastered all over their store, which some of them do, but if it's subtle and you know it and all that, and you can just pick up the vibe, that's great. And if they want to go all out on it, okay, great. But what you know when it's someone that's like, well, we only see this come out in this month for you guys, and we never see it any other time. Like, oh yeah, it's like Christmas. We just put it up, and it's time to put it up. And like, yeah, okay. So yeah, it as we say, it depends.
Maybe much like Christmas, you should put it up 3 months in advance.
Maybe you should put it up 3 months in advance like Christmas. That's pretty brilliant. Clay, any further input on that one from you?
Oh, I have the same opinion. Some companies feel it's pandering, and
Yeah,
some legit.
yeah,
Like some are just putting it up to try to get us to come in and spend money.
yeah. That's true. That's more of a that's more trans. Now, before anyone gets on me, it's
Speaking of that, I'm drinking out of a cup that has a Schnucks Pride logo on it.
well, yay for now. Again, to anyone who's wondering why I'm skipping over trans ones, it's not that I don't want to answer them. It's I don't feel I can. So it's more out of respect to I don't want to try to imply that I know what it's like to be trans or anything like that. For if we had someone here that I could uh, have speak on this, believe me, I would. But I do not have anyone to speak of on that one. So, um, question. Oh, here. um, okay, so this is apparently a. I'm not sure. Oh wait, no. This is a woman speaking, and she's asking this question. It's a bit of a reverse. I have a question for the.
Reverse. They have those in Uno.
Yeah, I have a question for the straight, specifically men people because I seriously don't get it. I know it's not the prompt, but I've gotten bored answering questions. What's up with you guys and asking questions about how I like women? Don't you like them? Wouldn't you understand? Are you hiding something? Also, what's your fucking problem asking what country my pride flag is or being bluntly homophobic? Is it a hidden cult? I'm seriously tired of hearing jokes made about me because I like them same gender as me. I find that to be completely appropriate for someone who's on their like last nerve of getting too many like obviously people trying to just be jackasses. I think that's a fair response. Um, but I mean, I think one of the funniest things is I said I had a friend who was a lesbian, and I said, so what do you find attractive about women? And she just kind of looked over at the girl she was dating, looked back at me, and she goes, you know. And I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense. It's like, why wouldn't you? Like, so, I mean, it's that simple. She's just attracted to him. It's nothing. Everyone wants to make it a Rubik's cube, but it's actually just like a gift. It's actually just like it's it's like a birthday card. You just open it and like there's your answer. It's not it's not this mystery you have to unlock. It's it's just I like I like women. I like men. I like people with great personalities, and I don't care about their gender. I do not care about sex, but I find Sebastian Stan to be very, 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 very handsome.
Well, that's a physical attraction.
Well, yeah, uh, but nonetheless, if people are attracted to somebody, they're attracted to them. It's not a grand mystery. It's it's just how they are. It's not if you're coming when you ask that question, you're coming at it like it's a problem. And it's not. And I do know that some people do ask this question and they don't intend on it to be a negative thing. And that's why I give a lot of grace when I hear these kind of questions. And I'm like, I'm glad you're asking me, because I will tell them, I'm glad you're asking me this, because if you ask someone who isn't me, there's a good chance they may be thinking that you're talking down to them or insulting them if you were to just bluntly ask this question. But since I know you, and I know that that's not your intention, I can tell you, careful who you ask this question to, and possibly phrase it differently if you do. So, yeah. No. Let's see. Someone's actually asking about staining wood in this chat.
What?
So someone says,
Staining
"What's
wood.
the best way to do more precise staining? I've tried painter's tape, but the part right next to the edge is duller compared to the rest. I really want a nice straight line without contrast in my wood staining.
Nice.
Invest in good tape. It makes all the difference. It also depends on how you're applying it to the surface."
I mean, if you want something done right,
Yeah, get the right
do it with
tools.
people.
Oh man, I needed that. That was good.
I need help with my staining.
I can't answer that one either. No, not that one. A bit over. Okay, so here's something. Nope, that's a reply. Never mind. I'm staying off of that. Do people within the LGBTQ plus community discriminate each other? Yes, yes they do.
It is a pretty big problem, actually.
Very much.
Yes, there's gatekeeping. There is old guard, new guard, lack of understanding, complete arrogance. But I will say that though it does exist, it is not. It's. I will. I'm not going to say that it's minor, but it's not. There, at least in my experience, beyond the few encounters I've had, it is not something that I have to deal with on a constant like I would with just like religious people, like hyper religious discriminating people. I feel safer in my community with our amount of discrimination than I do with like Christian nationalists. So, or some standard societies out there. So I would rather risk being yelled at by someone in my community about, oh, you're just pandering to everything because you just want all this attention, to where I could rug that off and say, like, well, I can tell you right now, I'm married. I don't really get that much attention beyond what I have at home, so. And I'm like, maybe you're just not getting any, but I'm gonna tell you, I'd rather I can deal with that better than like, you should be dead, you shouldn't exist, you're a blight upon the world of God. Like, okay, well, no, but okay, because I'll tell you, I run across more hateful hetero people than I do uh, LGBT, but that does not mean they don't exist. So yes, there is
I've
discrimination, and it's prevalent, but I would say in my opinion, it's a little bit easier to deal with than uh, the hetero community. So
I've heard people in the community say they want to drop the T,
that I
make
disagree with. That
trans
shouldn't.
people not a part of it.
Well, that's a bunch of old guard bullshit. So
And there is racism in
if you
the
didn't
community.
catch that, Rio, uh, Clay says that some of the LGBT is trying to drop the T, which usually that is a bunch of people that I don't see the point of why you would do that when these people have come to this community to try to be accepted and everything else and have a hard enough time as it is. I I find it very childish to even suggest something like that. They're people too, and they should be accepted just as we want to be accepted. So
Yeah, and I've seen
I
a lot
mean,
of
also,
racism too.
the whole point of the LGBT community is, people who are not straight, cisgendered, you know,
yeah,
we should not be fighting each other. There's enough
yeah,
people we have to fight. Why do we have to fight each other?
yeah. If it, I'd say if you fight for acceptance and I believe that if you are a person that says that you are fighting for acceptance in society, you have I think you have given up your right to say this person should not be accepted, or you should not you have pretty much signed yourself up to be a person that says if I deserve acceptance, then the person next to me deserves acceptance, and so on and so forth. Now, when I say that, I'm not using that as a term that you should be accepting like stuff that's malicious. No, absolutely not. But when I have several trans friends, and I'm going to say right now, they are just as important in this world as anyone else. And they deserve to be accepted. They deserve to have a happy, healthy life. They deserve love. They deserve acceptance, as anyone should. And I find anyone who thinks that someone doesn't deserve acceptance when they're demanding acceptance of their own is ridiculous. So,
Yep.
yeah. I think we can answer like two more questions because we're right on the end here. Let's see. Let's see here. Okay. Rio. um, so here's a question, and since we've had a curveball question already tonight, here's another one. Do asexuals have wet dreams?
Yes.
There you go.
Prefer to deal with them ourselves.
Yeah. So there you go. Um,
And on top of that, if you
What
want me
was
to
the answer? I didn't hear it.
kind of delve
oh,
into it,
yes.
we also do, pleasure ourselves. It's, a lot. The more sex people
Mm-hmm.
will, prefer to deal with it themselves because it's, you know,
It's
for
personal.
me, it's personal, but also like it's more efficient
Mm-hmm.
in a way. If you get it,
Yeah.
that's my logic. Is yeah, I could bond with Luke, or you could be at work, whatever. Or
Mm-hmm.
it's like, or I could just solve the problem myself much faster.
Yeah. Yeah. And I get what you're saying. Uh, so, but it's like, I guess in that point of view, you're like, well, I could put in the effort to try to find someone to help me deal with this, or I could take care of it myself and it'd be over with faster, and I can get back to what I want to do. Um, I get it. Uh, for and I just want people to reiterate here, Rio and I have a very healthy relationship, and we both are very satisfied with each other, and we love each other very, very much. Now, but we're also both goobers in the sense of sometimes we can't get the right words to say what we want to say. So bear with us. We if you hear something we say and you can put a positive spin to what we said, that's what we meant. So, all right, let's see if we can find one more
The
here.
fact that we just know each other's sense of humor.
Yes, we do. We also have we sometimes have very dark, very weird sense of humor. So, yeah. And so, yeah, it's just how we are. Okay, so here's one that's something. My oldest daughter is turning 15 in a few months. She came out as bi to her mom, with a lengthy letter. We're divorced and they live together. My daughter asked that mom not tell me. I don't know why. However, we successfully co parent both our children. Her mom did tell me about it. However, I dare not ask my daughter about it. In a way, I'm a little hurt that she doesn't want me to know. This letter was written at least 5 to 6 months ago. I have totally forgotten about it. There were times when I want to ask her, but I don't want to betray the trust that she has in her mom. I know I shouldn't ask her about it. I'm just hurt she didn't want me to know. Okay, buddy. I sympathize with this guy. I do. Because, as I mentioned earlier, I talked to my dad one on one about my sexuality when I had an opportunity to. Even though I know he probably would have preferred just to, I know about it, let's drop it and move on. It's not that my dad doesn't care, it's just that my dad, it's like, I won't understand it beyond you explaining it to me, but I still love you and I support you, yada, yada, yada. I am going to tell you right now, um, they may just not be able to gauge how you would accept it, and I don't think you should be too hurt by it. I think if you want to if you want someone to think that they can trust you with that information, I'm not saying go out and buy a pride flag or openly watch, like, I don't know, Will and Grace or something like that, or RuPaul's Drag Race or something like that, but show that you are a person that does not judge the community negatively. And I think they'd be like, yeah, okay, maybe I can talk to him about it. Or if you and her mom are on good terms, maybe to have her mom just kind of say, maybe you should talk to your dad about it. Or have her say, or have her ask, well, why didn't you think your dad wouldn't be accepting of this, or something like that. Believe me, everyone that thinks that parents can't be clever or anything like that, I'll tell you, they can be. It's impressive. So I would say, if you want to play the long game and wait for her to come out to you, there is a chance she may never. If you don't show that you are accepting of that kind of thing, and it's sad, but sometimes it's just a mindset. Um, like I said, the reason I didn't tell my dad first was not because I was afraid of him. It's because I knew exactly what he was going to say. He's like, "What's that?" That's what he would have said, and then it would have been followed up with, "Okay, are you happy? Yeah. Are you hurting anyone? No. Okay. Good for you. What's it mean?" Like, it means It means this. He's like, don't. He's like, he'd probably be like, okay, still don't get it, but I love you. That's all that matters. So that's how my dad would have dealt with it if he was the first one I talked to. So so I'm not sure if anyone else wants to put in on this at all. I think this guy genuinely loves his daughter and supports it. I just feel that maybe there's something that uh, he doesn't show that his daughter's unsure about. Stop filling the boat with water, Clay. Um,
I have a question. How long
Or I
has
gotta
her
take a
mom
shower.
known?
from the time of this post, it was 4 years ago. The letter was written 5 to 6 months ago. Uh,
So
of the time.
at the time, so 6 months. She could just be trying to figure out how to tell.
Yeah, that's also a thing. I hope that
Cause
this,
like,
or
cause
maybe,
like she would know her dad,
yeah, I would
but I feel
say,
like
yeah. Hmm.
she would probably have some idea of how he would react, like how
Yeah.
how your parents would. But
Hmm.
maybe she's just trying to plan something, kind of, I don't know, maybe cool,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I will say, in addition to this, for the father, the fact that and this is a very well statement that this person has said. The fact you're asking this question and your current actions have shown that you have the heart of a good father. I agree with that. And I she there's also the chance she may feel she doesn't have to come out to you. She may think that you figured it out and is comfortable enough with you that if you were to like just say, "So, that your girlfriend?" she'd be like, "Yeah." And I think because I'll joke about it, but I know this is dead serious. If we were to be in a scenario where someone said, "So, you guys are LGBT," I know that Meg would probably be like, "Yeah," like, and just be on with our day. So, and or if some like if one of our parents was like, "So, have you heard about this thing like asexuals and stuff like that?" Rio would probably be like, "Yeah, I am one," and not even bat an eye.
That one, that one's mine.
Yeah, yeah, like
I am
that's
that
me.
one.
Yeah. So, Clay, do you have anything to input on this, or
I don't know what to say about it.
okay? All right. I would say don't confront her about it. Just give her time. And if not, if nothing else, do something subtle. Like get a blank card from the dollar store or something and just write something saying, "Hey, I just want you to know that I care about you and there's nothing you could do to make me ever stop caring about you." And that is enough. Sometimes that is what is called a silent acceptance, where the person has not come out to you, but you have shown that you are accepting of the person, and then they feel like, okay, this is fine. And that's maybe, but I wouldn't like go up and say, "Hey, so are you LGBT or something?" I wouldn't do that. But I'd say nah, you're a good dad. It'll come in time. And I think if you were to talk to your wife and stuff like your ex-wife and stuff like that, I think you could find a way to, or I think your ex-wife could possibly do something to say like, I wouldn't say don't force it, but maybe have her like hint that, well, maybe you should tell your dad, or I think he'd be understand, because when I came out to my mom, she like gave me a list of who to tell. Wasn't a
A
lot.
list?
Well, of my
Did you tell your
immediate
sister?
family. My sister, was the first one she brought up. She did tell me not to tell my brother because he's currently dealing with shit. And then I said, well, what about dad? And she's like, I don't think dad's going to have a problem with it. But because I was kind of in a hurry and stuff, I'm like, do you think you could try to explain it to him? And she's like, I think I could get a way for him to understand it. And then I eventually just, after she did explain as best she could, and she told me, like, he doesn't understand it, but he's accepting. I'm like, okay. So, yeah. But yeah. So we are past the mark. I'm not sure if we could find one more question.
Gotta row my boat.
Why is it always such a grim row your boat in this game? That's so weird. Okay. Okay, so here's something. Gay man here. When my fiance and I got engaged and started planning our wedding, we talked to our parents to see if any of them had planned to help out a bit. Well, when trying to determine how much to help, his mom asked, "Who's the man and who's the woman?" Why did we? What did we hit?
We just got shot.
Oh, we did.
Or hit something. I don't know.
Oh, it's a pirate fortress.
Oh, nothing important.
Oh yeah. So, but it's like, who's the man, who's the woman? We were both baffled. We're both men. And she paused, asked it a slightly different way. Eventually, my fiance said, "Are you trying to ask who tops and who bottoms?" She got flustered and said, "I'll pay for the food." Oh, that's brilliant. I'm like, I don't think I could be angry at that mom. I mean, she genuinely was. I mean, it is, as we stated, it's not a question you should ask. Not that way. But I love that it got turned around on her, and she ended up seeing how ridiculous the question was, and said, "You know what? I'll pay for the food. You win." So that's pretty good. All right. Let's see. Okay, here's what's our agenda. I keep getting told we have one, but no one ever sends it to me.
I've always wondered that too.
Be fabulous and don't be a jackass. That's usually my agenda. So, don't know. They keep telling me that too, but I don't get the newsletter. Who cuts grass in a lesbian relationship? Whoever's turn it is.
I had. I'm like, it depends on who's hungry.
I don't think that was. I don't think that was the implication, hun. I think it was literally asking about mowing.
No, it wasn't. That was the joke my brain came up with.
Yeah, you would go there. Is this implying? Is this implying men are supposed to cut grass? Gender norms are stupid. My mom cuts grass often. Oh, that changes that. Lesbians are actually the best at mowing the lawn because they practice. Oh, because they practice scissoring often. God damn it! I tell you, sometimes the LGBTQ community.
Just came up with a better joke.
Oh, go for it.
It depends on who's the bigger goat.
Oh boy.
I didn't say it was a good joke. I said a better one
Yeah.
than the one I came up with.
Oh jeez.
And that was a pun.
I got it. Okay. Whoever's the greatest of them all, of all time. let's see. We are creaking. Oh, we're in the Red Sea.
What's happening?
We're in the Red Sea. Uh-huh.
How the hell we end up
We
here?
floated off the map.
We made it that far without hitting nothing?
Yeah, yeah. So let's see here. I'm really trying to get us out of this. Oh, I don't know what direction on the map we are.
Go west.
Okay, we're going west. We have the wind. Okay, I think we're gonna be calming down soon. Let's see.
Well, the bed's wet now.
All right, seems like the braking stopped. Okay. All right.
Don't go out there. That's too scary.
Yeah, it is scary. Let's see. Now we're back on the list of trans questions. Like I said, can't answer these. I think that one answers itself.
That was a weird noise.
That usually means something's gonna pop up on us, bud. Why do some y'all dress in, let's say, different attire during your pride parade thing? I I think I get this, but also I'm like, well, I can't speak on behalf of this because I have not been in a pride parade.
Why not?
I would say it's more. It's kind of like It's kind of like how with Woodstock people grew their hair long and wore bell-bottom jeans. It's different. It shakes up the normal, and it makes people feel uncomfortable. Because people try to make us feel uncomfortable all the time for existing. So we kind of I'd say some people go bizarre with their clothing to make people feel uncomfortable because it's just kind of a turnabout fair play, I guess. So maybe that's why. I don't know. I'd say if they're having fun and it's not hurting anybody, then I don't think you should worry about that too much. Though I will say there are some people that can pull off a pair of assless chaps, and there's some people that don't. And so yeah. And it's a party. I mean, who hasn't worn something weird at a party? I keep fixing it, and it keeps getting holes in it. All right. I think I just keep liking answering these questions, but I seriously should just find like one more. Um, oh my gosh, I patched all that already. Can straight people still be prideful, or is that a non-straight thing? I will say that some straight people are very prideful, and I wouldn't say that they can't be, but I think that you're missing the point of what LGBT pride is, if you're asking that question.
I'm dead.
Um, I will probably be joining you soon. So, I wish I could have ended on a funnier one. But hey, we should probably call it here, guys. So, as this vote sinks into the oblivion that it will, we thank you for coming out here and hope that you guys enjoyed our little banter that we had. Um, Again, we aren't like we're just members of the LGBTQ community. We aren't like professionals or like uh, philosophers or complete knowledges on this. We just speaking of our own experiences and stuff like that. So take what we say and give grace when you can. We're explaining how we can with just giving our little opinion. If we said something out of turn, we apologize. It is nothing was meant with malice at all. Uh, and if it did bother you, drop us a message and explain how it was out of turn, and for next time we'll adjust. But other than that, though, we hope you had a good time and had uh, enjoyment with all these questions and stuff that we answered. Uh, this video should be up tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. Central U.S. time. So feel free to check it out on our YouTube. Uh, Also, we are at 161 followers. That's 9 away from 170 follower goal. So don't forget to hit that follow button. Oh, I forgot the schedule. Saturday we'll be back on the build table with the Storm Sorter, and then we'll be in Hollow Knight on Tuesday, and who knows on Thursday. So we'll figure it out depending on what's released on that Thursday. So we'll find out. And then after next week, we will be on vacation, so there will not be anything the following week. So me and Rio and the little guy will be on vacation with family and enjoying ourselves, uh, giving a well-needed rest for a bit. Um, don't forget to check out. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell over at our YouTube, Smart923 at YouTube. And if you want to help out the channel, hit that subscribe button, because subscribing not only gets rid of those pesky ads, but it helps us out with server fees, maintenance fees, groceries, model kits, and diapers for little baby Bray. So, and with that, to all you in the LGBTQ community and that who just want the best for your fellow members and just want people to be happy, healthy, and love who they want to love, we hope you guys have a great Pride Month. To all the non-LGBTs out there, hey, just don't be assholes. And with that, remember to get out there, discover, explore, create, innovate. We will see you here next time on Spark93 Gaming. We love you guys. Take it easy. Whew. A lot of sailing, a lot of talking. Hope it was worth it. We'll see how this one goes.